Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to speak about projection. First few words about the theory, then we are going to see how easy we can identify the projection of our project. Then we can see how I can identify the projection of a layer that have received and how I can convert or reproject a layer or a raster file. A projection is a way to represent footprint of facilities of the Earth in a flat paper on a screen. As you can imagine, each type of projection has a distortion, and we need to identify the best projection in order to minimize the distortion. Per default, our software on our GPS has a geographic coordinate reference system displayed in latitude and longitude, where we know that the latitude is on the equator with 0 degree and the longitude is the prime meridian going to Greenwich, London. So per default, this geographic coordinate reference system shows coordinates in degrees, minutes and seconds, which make it rather complicated for the computer to make calculation like identifying distances, surfaces and volume. Therefore, it is recommended, if you want to develop a site, to work in other type of projection where you don't have degrees and also where distortion is minimized. Principally, we have three types of projection: the cylindrical projection, which preserves distances and area, the conical projection, which preserves angles, and the planar projection, which preserves distances. But we would like to have a projection that somehow preserves everything, because we need to have precise measurements on the terrain. That's why we use usually country-specific projection if they are available. For example, Switzerland, we have a country-specific projection called LV95, but in case you are not asked to use the country-specific projection, you can use the Mercator projection. The Mercator projection preserves angle and it is used mainly for schools maps, navigation and meteorology, but it has a big distortion. To see the distortion of the area, you can use this page, the truesize.com. If we take the example of Iceland, which is this one, and we compare it, for example, with Cuba, it looks that Iceland is much bigger than Cuba. But if we drag and we check the true size of Iceland, we see that it has almost the same surface than Cuba. So the distortion actually in the Mercator projection is very big. The best projection to use is the UTM projection, Universal Transfer Mercator projection, because this projection divides the Earth in 60 vertical slices called zones. This projection projects zone at the time, it keeps the shapes accurate, it limits the distortion, and additionally it uses metric coordinates x and y value, and these make it easier to calculate distance, area, volume, and also to transfer information into the CAD platform and vice versa. And also many drawing tools, so for example CAD tool in GIS, works only if you use UTM projection. Keep in mind that each projection has a value called APSG code, European Petroleum Survey Group code, not really ecological. For example, the geographic projection has the APSG code 4326, and keep this in mind. And any other type of projection has a unique code. How can you identify the right UTM projection of your area? The easiest way to do that is through a dedicated plugin. So you open your project per default. First, you check the current projection of the project. You have here your APSG code. You can click on it and then you see that your project has the geographic projection. 4326. Then you want to know what is the right UTM projection of the area of interest. You install a plugin called Lat Long Tool. I have it already, so I don't have to reinstall it. Once you install this plugin, you will have this icon. You click on the icon and you click on the cross. You click now somewhere in the middle of the area of interest, and you see all the coordinate appearing, and you can see here we have the standard UTM 34 north. So now we know that our project, if we want it to have it in UTM projection, it needs UTM 34 north projection. That's fine. Now you go to setting, option, and here under CRS and transform, you go to handling, and you have per default the geographic projection. So we have to change it, and we have to find down there the right projection. It is a projected, and under UTM universal transfer you will find UTM 35 north somewhere. VGS 84 UTM zone 35 north, 34 north, this one. You also can see that it is somewhere in the right area. Okay, now that's fine. Same here, when I create a new layer, I want the same. Okay, now I have set up properly my project. How can I see what type of projection has my layer? For example, I take this contour layer here, I click twice, and I go under information, and here I see the coordinate reference system, and I see this layer has geographic projection. I want to transform it in UTM projection, so I open the processing toolbox, and here I search for reprojection, reproject layer. I choose my vector layer, and I choose the right target projection, in this case 34 north, and I run. Now the new layer is reprojected. Let's check. Be careful, it is a temporary layer. Let's check, and now I have the right projection. The same for a raster layer. Let's see this raster layer. Click twice to check the type of projection it has. This layer has geographic projection. With this layer I wouldn't be able to make any type of terrain analysis, so I need to reproject it in UTM projection. I type warp. Warp is actually part of GDAL, raster projection, and warp. The source is geographic projection, target is 34 north, and the rest I leave it like it is and then run it. Now the new reprojected layer has the right projection. I hope this was clear. Thank you very much for following.